Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, March 25th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can and should be used to build good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you do want to learn more about this tool and why it's so powerful, then certainly get signed up for the free class. Now, a couple things here, depending on when you watch this video is going to dictate a few things. So if you're watching this on Friday morning, you have already missed it. It's, the event has happened. However, it will be recorded. So if you want, I can still email you a link to that recording. So just drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com. Or maybe you're just watching this and it hasn't happened yet, but maybe you already have something on your schedule because it's too last minute for you. Again, drop me an email, and after the event is recorded and I get it uploaded, I'd be happy to send you a link so that you can still see it. Now, if you can make it, then get signed up. Down in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on my site, an area right there on the webpage. But yeah, if you like what you see, then certainly either drop me an email or get signed up. A couple of quick clarification points before I get to the stocks. First off, the market is still open for a little bit of time, so that candle will still be moving around as I go through the videos, as I go through the stocks. But I like to do these videos when the market's still open for a little bit because sometimes we can capture some really late day interesting action on video here. And then the other is I will be using the 30-minute time frame. So for a beginner, all that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of volume. So case in point on why I like to do these when the market's still open, check out SNDL, our first one here. Absolutely explosive late day momentum, late day volume here. And now it's just a question of how much further is this going to carry into Friday. Now, I did this one previously, and I talked about that resistance in this pattern right here. And you can see very clearly, got the pattern breakout, got a lot of upside pressure. So I'll go ahead and just delete these lines out as they've served their purpose for now, but certainly updates need to be made. So the first level to keep an eye on moving forward from the support standpoint, so if you're somebody that likes to play more so pullbacks, then right there at 68 cents presents an interesting pullback point. But overall, if you care about just the bigger picture trend, continue to watch that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. As the name implies, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So it's going to do something like that. In other words, if you want to just use it as a trend line that draws itself for you. So point being, as long as the price stays above that line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the overall trend is fully in the bull's favor. Again, sure, staying above 68 cents is going to make the chart look the best. However, generally speaking, as long as the price is above that purple line, the bulls 100% own the chart. Now, as far as areas of resistance, I know it's getting hard to see, but we're having to go back way into the chart's history because it's been quite a while since the price has been up this high. There we go. So next area of resistance up here at 78 cents, which is coming from way back here in November. So like I said, we are at multiple months highs right now. And as long as this momentum continues, then it's just going to draw in that many more people. So yeah, if you like to play penny stocks, then I don't see why this one wouldn't be on your watch list. Next one, AMC, and this is a little tricky because there's different perspectives that go into it. So from a presentation standpoint, yeah, I'm kind of on thin ice here. However, so I'll try my best to distinguish. But if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you were buying there or you were buying right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes or so, well then yeah, from that point of view, the chart looks really bad because there was a bigger pullback today. However, from the grand scheme of things, so if you care about more so the just big picture point of view, then in fact, let me just get rid of this line here because from the bigger picture point of view, you have a set of those here. Where's the last set? Well, right here. Where's the last set? Well, down there. And if you envision each one of those as stair steps, what do you have? Well, from the big picture, you still very clearly have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction, and that's the name of the game. That's what matters most is you want to see those higher lows because as long as higher lows are being put into place, that does imply that the overall trend is still in the bullish direction. So like I said, it's all a matter of, I don't know, well, what was your strategy? What was your game plan going in? And that's going to determine, just how either bad or good the chart is actually for you. Now, as far as resistance levels, nothing here has changed. Still have that $22 mark as the main level, but in more so the near term area, level of resistance is going to be right down here around $20.60. So again, overall, the chart is still perfectly fine. Next one, AMD, and I love this one just because there's such a simplistic pattern here. So when I draw out this pattern, I'm not trying to imply that this takes some sort of great skill. I'm not trying to imply that this is a great discovery. The exact opposite. I assure you, a lot of people are drawing out this pattern. So why do I say all that? Because when lots of people are watching the same dynamics, wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And that's what we have right here with this pattern. So the top of the pattern, right there at that trend line. Next part of the pattern, right here. And let me change that to green to represent more so the bullish, support area of the pattern. And then just to make this all the same color, to make it maybe easier to see, we have a resistance, we have our support, we have the big momentum move right there. And to make it a little more visual, let's put a little golf hole down here. So for you golfers out there, this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play bull pennants, then AMD should certainly be on the watch list for Friday. Next one, ZSAN, another very eventful day today with big solid volume. So for those of you that like the penny stocks, here is another one. And overall, what's nice here is that a pullback has happened. Now, why do I say that, this action here is nice? Well, as traders, you should always be a little paranoid. I don't am I going to buy the top? Am I the sucker that's chasing, that's suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out? And am I going to buy the top? And that fear has been eliminated because, no, the suckers that bought the top, they bought right there. Now, that doesn't mean that it's for sure going to be a winning trade for you. I'm just saying that at least that, worry has been alleviated and removed from the equation. So if you like to play pullbacks, and let's be, very clear, there's a lot of upwards momentum right now. So upwards momentum, upwards channel, however you want to visualize that, but there is a pullback within it. Now, has it pulled back enough? That'll be up to you and your personal strategy. But from a support standpoint, interesting level here if you do like to play pullbacks, right there at the 25-cent mark. In terms of areas of resistance, key level to watch seems to be right up here around 28 cents, give or take. I realize the price did at one point get up above that area, but then there are other times where the price didn't quite hit it. But general idea being when the price has gotten up around 28 cents, the momentum has really just struggled to maintain itself. But overall, nice pattern, nice momentum. You got the pullback, so we'll see how it closes out on Friday. Next one here, NVDA. I probably should have put this one right after AMD because it's the same general concept. Very clear, very simple pattern. So you have that self-fulfilling prophecy, concept in play here. But as far as the level that I think a lot of people drew as resistance right there, so a lot of people are going to be watching that as a potential breakout point. And then as far as pattern, I'm going to use that just so you can kind of see better where that trend line is coming from by using some of those past highs. But then again, just to make the pattern a little bit easier to see, we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the momentum move, we have our golf hole down there for another bull pennant pattern. So for those of you that like those bull pennants, here is NVIDIA. Next one, MULN, and not a whole lot going on today, but for those of you that have watched these videos for a while, you should remember that back here, I continue to do videos when the price was not really doing much, it had pulled back, it had gone sideways, and not a whole lot was going on. But I made comments about, but it hasn't done anything wrong. It's not like it's collapsed or anything like that. And now it's a case of deja vu where things are just kind of going sideways. There's been a pullback, but generally speaking, from a big picture point of view, nothing wrong has occurred. Now, if all of a sudden the price starts collapsing down through all these areas of support, all right, that's a much different argument at that point in time. But at this point in time, none of that has happened. So, was today exciting? Was today eventful? No, not really. But obviously, MULN has proven to be a very big mover. But like any stock, it can't go straight up. It needs those periods of consolidation. And as of now, this seems to be another period of consolidation. And I'll still consider all this healthy as long as the price continues to remain above that green line, which I've talked about previously at $2.80. So 280, important level of support. And then as far as resistance level, in fact, I'm just going to get rid of these for now as they've served their purpose because in the near term, that first key level that needs to be broken right here, that purple line, the 50 period moving average, and we'll call it right there at 325. But overall, yeah, not very eventful, but the big picture chart still remains healthy and in my mind remains so as long as it's up above 280. Next one, IMPP. I don't mean to state the obvious, but very nice move today when the price was just hovering down here and then all of a sudden made the big move up. Now, the price did come down. So at this point, it's a question of, okay, was today just a one-day wonder? Was today just some sort of one-time pop? And I have no idea. But the good news is by using charts, we can make that question very straightforward. In my mind, it revolves around this level down here at $1.65. Why is $1.65 so helpful and revealing? Now, I'm not saying this will occur, but for explanation's sake, let's say the price comes down here and then breaks down below it. At that point, what would you have? You would have the price having gone quite literally right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of true, genuine power. However, no price can go straight up, and healthy movements are going to show progress. So if the price were to come down here and then do something like that, well, what would you have? You'd have a set of lows there. you'd have a set of lows there. And if you envision those as those stair steps, well, you would still have progress being made in the upwards direction. So was today truly strong? I don't know, but let's just simply see if the price can show signs of progress. And again, my definition of quote-unquote progress being there at $1.65. Next one, LLL, and very fascinating situation right now as the price is right back at that purple line as I speak, which again is that 50-period moving average. And you look at the last time the price was at that purple line, very, very nice move up. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price bounced last time from this area, does that mean that for sure, guaranteed, without doubt, another bounce is coming? Absolutely not. My point here is that at least valid? Is that at least a rational thought process to have that, hey, you know what? Maybe this thing could, turn itself around. Yeah, that's completely a valid thought process to have. Not a guaranteed one, but it's valid because of the history of the chart. So pointer being, this dynamic here makes it very, very interesting. And, that's kind of the big question I think a lot of traders will be wondering is the price once again going to bounce off that 50-period moving average? If it does, then that main breakout point that, once again, if you want to call this a self-fulfilling prophecy area, right up here around $5.40, I think a lot of people will be watching that. And definitely a very interesting setup here, because if I use the moving average here as actually a trend line, so if I do that, and then I do that as the resistance, there's a nice little ascending triangle here that's forming. So we'll see if the price can get the breakout on Friday. Next one, NKLA. And once again, a tricky chart to talk about because it's all about perspective. Meaning if you are a day trader, flipper, scalper, and you were buying up here during that first 30 minutes and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, the chart looks absolutely terrible for you. However, if you care about the big picture point of view, I understand. Big pullback here. But I mean, look at the pullback. It didn't even violate the 50-period moving average. And then going back to just using stair steps, if you want to look at it from a different angle, have a set of lows there, have these lows, have those lows, have those lows, have that low. And once again, stair steps, you still have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So yes, no doubt about it, a big pullback today. In fact, looking at today individually, it was just a big gap and trap. However, if you take a step back and look at multiple days, as we're doing here, the overall trend is still in the bulls' favor. So once more, is this a good or bad looking chart? I don't know. Day traders that were buying right there, things are not looking good. If you care about the general, trend, the big picture, the trend has not been violated. Still got higher stair steps, still above that 50-period moving average. So it's all going to be, based on what your, game plan going in was. But overall, yes, today individually, nasty, nasty day with the gap and trap. But taking a step back and looking at multiple days, the trend is still there. Next one, TSLA, Tesla. Try to trade this one every day. In fact, that's the only stock I traded today on it. And the levels here that I mapped out in yesterday's video still 100% pertain. So, I mean, kind of a little case of deja vu. But the first thing I want to do is just keep this updated here, because as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I'm doing this more so for myself, and you can just kind of lean in on what I'm saying here. So I'm not saying that this is the levels you have to follow, but these are the levels that I'll be watching moving forward. So this trend line here talked about, still very, very fascinated by it, especially today. I mean, check it out, the power of charts. So another quick plug, get signed up for the class or drop me an email so I can send you the recording. And this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the video from yesterday. But if you didn't, you remember me putting that green line in place, and look at that, boom. Boom, right off that trend line. So I will continue to be very, very interested in that trend line. And if the price goes down there, what's going to happen? Is it going to break? And if it breaks, that could definitely draw in some bearishness. Or is it going to bounce once again, which, nobody knows. But point here being, by no means could anybody accuse you of using that trend line as being some sort of random area. There is no guarantees behind it, but there is a lot of logic. And then as far as areas of resistance, again, check this out right here around 1020. Multiple times price got up around that area and could just never quite push through it, including late day, rejected right at that level. So point being, in the near term, that 1020, give or take, I mean, come on, we're talking about $1,000 stock here, but 1020, right around there, that main area of resistance, and then the next key level after that would be up there around 1040. But these are definitely the levels I'll be watching on Friday for Tesla. So that wraps up the top 10 list. And again, if you like what you saw here, either drop me an email or get signed up for the free class. And once again, if you're watching this Friday morning or you're watching it and you already got something on your schedule this evening, then just drop me an email and I would be happy to send you a link to the recording after the event is over. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these videos, put in the time and effort to scan, to analyze these, then let me know by doing two easy things. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment. But those two things go a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to do these videos. So definitely get signed up for the class tonight if you can. If not, drop me an email. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you here in just a few hours.